There comes a point in life where the silence around you gets louder than the noise of the world. A point where nobody claps for you, nobody believes in you, and even those you thought would stand by your side quietly walk away. That's the moment when you are faced with the truth. No one is coming to save you. The world doesn't owe you a shoulder, a handout, or a second chance. And that's exactly why you must rise alone. Because rising alone is the ultimate test of strength. When you stand with no cheerleaders, no helping hand, and no safety net, that's when you discover what you are truly made of. Most people crumble under isolation. They quit when it hurts. They beg for comfort when the fire of adversity burns. But if you dare to embrace the struggle, if you dare to accept the pain, if you dare to walk through the battlefield of life with no armor except your willpower, you will come out sharper, harder, unstoppable. Alone is where warriors are built. Alone is where kings are crowned. Alone is where you stop being ordinary and rise into the extraordinary. Pain is not your enemy, it is your greatest teacher. Every bruise, every scar, every heartbreak, every sleepless night that tears through your soul is life testing your ability to endure. People run from pain, they avoid it, they hide behind comfort and distractions because comfort is easy. Comfort is safe. Comfort whispers lies that everything will be fine if you just sit still. But nothing great has ever come from comfort. Nothing powerful has ever been built in safety. Pain is the path. It's the fire that burns away weakness. It's the storm that strips away everything fake inside you, leaving only the raw, unshakable core of who you really are. Every time you feel pain, you are standing at the edge of growth. The more it hurts, the closer you are to the version of yourself you dream of becoming. And the only weapon you have to walk that path is discipline. Discipline is not motivation. Motivation dies the moment the pain comes. Motivation disappears when you wake up tired, when the world tells you no, when your body screams to quit. Discipline is different. Discipline is the voice that says, I don't care how I feel, I don't care how heavy it gets, I will move forward anyway. Discipline does not care about mood, it does not need applause, it does not need recognition. Discipline is the soldier in you that shows up every day to fight, even when you're bleeding, even when nobody believes in you, even when quitting feels like the only option. When you learn to use discipline as your weapon, pain no longer controls you. Pain becomes fuel. Pain becomes proof that you are on the right track, that you are pushing where others give up. And every time you choose discipline in the face of pain, you carve another piece of armor into your soul. The truth is, everyone suffers. Life is suffering. But most people waste their suffering. They complain, they point fingers, they drown in self-pity. The strong, the ones who rise, they take suffering and turn it into power. They use the discipline of action to transform pain into purpose. Think about it. The greatest champions, the greatest leaders, the most unstoppable men and women the world has ever known, all walk through hell. They faced betrayal, poverty, humiliation, and defeat. But what separated them from the broken masses is not that they avoided pain, but that they embraced it with discipline. They trained when their bodies begged them to rest. They worked when their hearts were shattered. They stood tall when everyone else wanted them to crawl. Discipline makes pain your ally. And once pain becomes your ally, there is nothing left to fear. You see, the problem is not that life is hard. The problem is that people are soft. They've been taught to chase happiness instead of chasing strength. They've been programmed to avoid pain instead of learning from it. But strength is not born in joy. Strength is forged in nights when you cry yourself to sleep and still wake up to fight again. Strength is built when you bleed, when you sweat, when you suffer in silence, and nobody sees your effort, but you keep going anyway. Discipline is what allows you to show up for yourself when nobody else will. And that is why discipline is the greatest weapon you will ever have. Because life will break you. Life will hit you harder than you expect. Life will test every fiber of your being. Without discipline, you will fold. But with discipline, no amount of pain can destroy you. With discipline, you learn to rise in the darkness. You learn to thrive under pressure. You learn to take control of your own destiny. Discipline says, I will not stop. I will not surrender. I will not give my pain the power to own me. When you realize pain is the path and discipline is the weapon, you stop wishing for an easier life and you start building a stronger self. You stop asking why me and you start saying try me. You stop running from challenges and instead charge into them, knowing each scar is a medal of honor, proof that you fought, proof that you grew, proof that you lived as a warrior, not a coward. Pain is inevitable, but weakness is a choice. Discipline is the difference. Every day you pick up this weapon, every day you train it, sharpen it, wield it, you become untouchable. The world cannot break a man who refuses to quit. And that man, that woman is you. If you decide to embrace the pain and master the discipline, Isolation is not the curse people think it is. It is not loneliness. It is not punishment. It is not some cruel exile meant to break you. Isolation is the sacred ground where transformation begins. The reason so many people fear being alone is because they cannot stand to meet themselves. They need the noise of the crowd, the approval of friends, the endless distractions of entertainment and validation to hide the emptiness they feel inside. But when the noise fades, when the crowd leaves, when the room is empty and all you hear is your own breathing, that is when the truth appears. That is when you come face to face with who you really are. And yes, it is uncomfortable. Yes, it feels heavy. Yes, it feels like punishment at first. But it is not. Isolation is preparation. It is life giving you the chance to sharpen your soul in silence before the world tests you in chaos. Think about the strongest warriors in history, the most brilliant minds, the greatest leaders. None of them became who they were in the middle of applause. They were forged in solitude. The athlete who trains when nobody is watching, the creator who works through the night in silence, the fighter who runs alone on empty streets, that is where greatness is born. Because isolation removes illusions. It strips away comfort. It forces you to rely on nothing but your own will. When you are isolated, you realize no one is coming to push you. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to carry your weight. It is only you. And when you learn to move, to fight, to rise by yourself, you develop a power that cannot be taken away. Preparation always looks like suffering to the untrained eye. Sitting alone in the gym, running those extra miles, reading when others are partying, working in silence while others waste their nights. That looks like punishment to those who crave comfort. But it is not punishment. It is the refining process. Diamonds are formed in pressure. Steel is hardened in fire. And warriors are built in isolation. You do not prepare for battle under the cheers of the crowd. You prepare in silence, in solitude, in the stillness, where the only voice you hear is your own. And that is why isolation is a gift. Because when you embrace it, you stop fearing loneliness and start using it. You learn to control your thoughts, to master your emotions, to build your focus. The distractions fall away, the fake people disappear, and all that remains is raw clarity. Who you see yourself or who you are, and more importantly, who you must become. The crowd cannot give you that. Friends cannot give you that. Only isolation can. People will call you antisocial. They will say you are missing out. They will laugh at your silence. But one day, when the results appear, when your preparation turns into undeniable success, they will understand. The very isolation they mocked was the foundation of your rise. Isolation gives you time others waste. It gives you focus others scatter. It gives you strength others never find. It teaches you to move without applause, to fight without witnesses, to win without recognition. And when the day comes that the spotlight finds you, you are not nervous, you are not weak, you are not unprepared. Already, because you already fought the battles in silence. You already built yourself in the shadows. You already carried the weight alone. That is the difference between those who collapse when pressure comes and those who thrive under it. The prepared do not panic because they trained in isolation. The weak crumble because they never learned to stand alone. So understand this, when life puts you in isolation, it is not punishing you, it is shaping you. When people leave you, when doors close, when nights feel endless and heavy, realize that this is not abandonment, it is alignment. Life is aligning you with your mission, stripping away distractions, teaching you to depend on yourself, forcing you to grow into the version of you that can handle the future you are asking for. Isolation is the furnace that melts away the old you so the new you can rise. Do not fear it. Embrace it. Do not curse it. Use it. Because one day, when the results of your silent preparation explode into undeniable success, the world will wonder how you did it. And you will know the truth. You did it in the dark. You did it in the silence. You did it in isolation. What they thought was punishment was really your preparation. And that is why you will rise while they stay the same. Greatness is not passed down like a family heirloom. It cannot be gifted. It cannot be inherited. It cannot be bought. Titles may be inherited. Money may be inherited. Status may be inherited, but greatness is something different. Greatness is earned, and it is always earned in silence. The world loves to celebrate the end result, the victories, the trophies, the fame. People see the success and assume it was destiny, that it was luck that was given. But what they never see is the silence before the noise, the grind before the glory, the sacrifice before the spotlight. Greatness is not built in front of cameras or in the middle of applause. It is built in the shadows, where no one claps, no one watches, and no one cares. It is built when you wake up before the sun to push yourself when no one is holding you accountable. It is built in the sweat that drips when you train in the quiet of the night, when everyone else is asleep, when the world doesn't even know you exist. That is where greatness is earned. Silence is where discipline is tested. Silence is where excuses die. Silence is where you face yourself without distraction and decide whether you will rise or quit. People think greatness is glamorous, but in reality, it is lonely. It demands sacrifice others are unwilling to give. It demands hours of work with no recognition, no validation, and no applause. And if you're not willing to suffer in silence, you do not deserve to shine in success. That is the truth. Most people do not want to hear. They want the rewards, they want the recognition, but they do not want the silence, the grind, the invisible battles that create the strength to stand above. The greatest victories are born in moments nobody will ever see. The greatest breakthroughs come from nights spent questioning yourself, from days spent pushing past exhaustion, from the endless repetition of work that seems to go unnoticed, but it does not go unnoticed. Every hour you put in when nobody is looking is a deposit into the account of greatness. And when the time comes, when the opportunity appears, when the spotlight finally finds you, those silent investments pay off. That is why you cannot compare yourself to those who seem to have been born into privilege or advantage. They may inherit money, they may inherit connections, they may inherit power, but they cannot inherit greatness. Greatness requires struggle, and struggle cannot be passed down. Struggle must be lived. Struggle must be endured. Struggle must be embraced. The truth is, the silent grind is a filter. It separates those who are pretending from those who are committed. Anyone can talk about dreams, anyone can post about goals, anyone can look the part in public, but in the silence, when no one is watching, the truth is revealed. Are you doing the work or not? Are you sharpening your mind, your body, your soul when nobody is checking? Or are you wasting the time that you could be investing? Silence tells the truth about you. And if you learn to love the silence, if you learn to embrace the work that nobody sees, you will build something unshakable inside yourself. Greatness is not inherited because inheritance requires nothing of you. Greatness demands everything. It demands your time, your energy, your focus, your blood, your sweat, your tears. It demands you trade comfort for consistency, distractions for discipline, noise for focus. And you give all of that not in the spotlight, but in silence. People will doubt you. People will laugh at you. People will dismiss your efforts because they cannot see them. Let them. Because one day, when the results roar louder than their opinions, they will realize the truth. They will realize you did not need inheritance. You did not need handouts. You did not need shortcuts. You earned it. You built it. You rose in silence. The silence is not empty. It is full of the foundation that greatness is built on. Silence is your training ground, your sanctuary, your forge. It is the place where you carve out strength so powerful that when the noise finally comes, you are unshaken, unmovable, unstoppable. And that is why greatness belongs only to those who embrace the silence. It is not for the weak, not for the entitled, not for the ones waiting to be handed something. It is for those who wake up every day knowing no one is going to do it for them. No one is going to hand them the crown. No one is going to applaud until they have earned it. Greatness is never inherited. It is earned in silence. And if you are brave enough to pay that price, the world will one day witness what you built in the dark. And so when the dust settles and the noise fades, the truth remains. Your journey is yours alone. Nobody can walk it for you. Nobody can carry you across the fire. Nobody can hand you the crown you haven't earned. Pain will test you. Isolation will shape you. And silence will build you. These are not punishments. They are the very tools life gives to those bold enough to run. The weak will call it unfair. The average will call it impossible. But you will know it is the price of becoming unstoppable. One day, when you stand tall, when the world finally sees the strength you carved in the dark, they will call you lucky, they will call you gifted, but you will know the truth. You forged it with your blood, your sweat, your discipline. And in that moment, you won't need their applause because the greatest victory is not the recognition, it is the transformation. Rise alone. Rise through pain, rise through silence, rise through isolation. For in the end, greatness does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who dare to fight for it when no one is watching. Anyways,